I think a lot, but probably not enough. Welcome back, everybody. It is Friday, the 3rd of March, 2023. I don't even remember the episode number, but it'll be written on somewhere. Welcome back. I think a lot, but probably not enough. How is everybody today? Don't answer that. That's a fucking silly little joke. No, I'm feeling pretty good. I got a thing yesterday for my foot, like a compression sock, to let my foot heal a little bit, so that I can start running again. Because I got to get back into training for this 10K, which I still have plans to do. I've fallen off the bandwagon a little bit. I feel like I'm juggling so many things at once, but I just need to get into a rhythm. And once I'm in a rhythm, once I'm in a groove, I can achieve anything, but I'm just not in that groove at the moment, which means I have to sacrifice things. And some of those things will be, hanging out with friends and getting out and doing things with mates. But also, like, the amount of time I spend on social media is just fucking stupid. So I need to get off that shit. I need to stop scrolling through Instagram and Facebook, start setting limits. Maybe I'll do that after this podcast. I'll set like a half an hour time limit every day, because I don't do anything on them. I don't post on them. I don't use them. If anything, I use like YouTube more now. But at least I'm like consuming like positive things. I'm listening to like podcasts that talk about the effects of certain things and how to optimize your health and whatnot. Andrew Huberman's podcast, and or I listen to like podcasts when I'm running and stuff. I started listening to Logic's new album actually, which is pretty good. But yeah, I'm feeling good in that way. I will be honest though, I'm feeling a little sad. Yesterday was a push for my my mental emotions, my mental health and my emotions. I'm ambitious. I'm an ambitious guy. And there was a scenario a little while ago where the only way I can describe it is, if anyone's seen Malcolm in the Middle, there's an episode where Hal gets invited to play poker with Stevie's dad. Stevie's the little black boy in the wheelchair who can't breathe. He has like labored breathing. Anyway, he's there and he's playing poker with the guys, right? I can't remember Stevie's dad's name, but he's there playing poker with the guys. And they're all making jokes and they're all making references, and it's like they're all black men and Hal's the only white guy. And then Hal goes to make a joke and they all just stare at him like like, who are you? Who invited you? And I feel like that sometimes at work. I used to run 2 stores. I was a dual store manager. So my mindset and my mentality and my ambition and my initiative is all based around that role. And since I left that role and now I'm working as a casual for another business, the other casuals, the other people who have been nothing but a casual the entire time, it's hard for me to assimilate onto the team with them, because at any given point I'm thinking about the conversions, I'm thinking about upselling, I'm thinking about like other things like to help run the business and to support my boss, because I have to wear that hat, because that's what it was the hat that was put on me. It's the hat that I've trained in. I'm trained in. I'm skilled in leadership. I'm a natural born leader, some would say. And so I have this dilemma, this moral dilemma where I'm expected by the casuals to just be a casual. I'm expected by my boss to show leadership and be a leader. But when I show leadership and I'm a leader, I make the casuals feel uncomfortable because I'm doing too much. But when I don't do that, my boss is like, why aren't you doing more? And so, I have there's this moral dilemma where I'm expected to be 2 different people at the same time, and I don't know how to deal with that. And so I had a sit down yesterday. My boss sat me down and we had a chat, because I've had some of the other people have made a comment about how I speak to them in a certain way, or I work erratically, which was something that I thought was interesting. Like I'll go long periods without working and then I'll do heaps to catch up, which I just don't think is true. But these same people, I've also made comments about how they don't do enough work. So it's interesting to think the perspective that we have across each other. Like, you know, they've got this idea of me, I've got this idea of them, and we're not meeting in the middle. And I could sit here and say, well, I am meeting them in the middle and they aren't meeting me in the middle, but I couldn't tell you. So yesterday I was a bit, I don't know, sad, I guess. Sad would be the way that I describe it. And I have this real like sensitivity, I guess, when it comes to people using the word ego to describe me, right? Because ego means that I think I'm better than other people. Right, but in essence, I'm sure there's a much more intricate system and a much more intricate explanation, and I'm sure there's plenty of explanations that I'd agree with. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't have somewhat of an ego. But I would argue that I'm more prideful, right? That I take pride in what I do, that I try really hard, that I put a lot of effort in, and I am proud of the work that I do. Because I have this attitude that is like, if I'm going to be there for 40 hours a week, why would I not put effort in? On top of that, I'm there for 40 hours a week. So when you're coming into cover, I shouldn't have to do the exact same amount of work as you. In a weird way, like I'm here so much more. So across the span of the time that I'm here, I'm working equal amount. But in the time that a cover's there for 4 or 5 hours, even if they are also a casual, they like the workload should be equal in that time. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, so that's one situation I'm dealing with. And yesterday, I guess the only way it could be described is a bruised ego. More than anything, I was just hurt. You know, I'm hurt by the idea that I can't be ambitious, and that instead of trying to meet me halfway, I'm being expected to pull back on who I am. I can't be who I am, and I can't strive for greatness and be ambitious. I have to just take a chill and do less. But if I do less, then my bosses won't consider me for increased responsibility and extra roles, and I won't be put in the running for leadership roles because I'm not doing enough to show that I care or that I want it. But if I show that I care and that I want it, I make the other team feel uncomfortable because they aren't doing as much. Well, I guess this is my perception, that they aren't doing as much, and so therefore they need to bring me down, right? I need to be taken off my high horse and brought down a peg. But I don't feel like there's a high horse. I don't think it's unreasonable to if I'm opening and closing the shift, I'm running the day, and therefore we aren't equal on that day because I'm in charge. And as equal as we are by title, I also have years of experience as a leader. And so we're not equal by mentality, and we're not equal by motivation, and we're not equal by initiative. I don't know. Maybe I'm ranting. I felt like yesterday I was angry and I was upset and I was frustrated about my cat. And the night before I'd had an argument with Mad. So if you listen to yesterday's podcast, there's a clear difference between that one and any other day where I've actually been like feeling good mentally. But it takes a toll because I was promised certain things coming into this role, and those things aren't coming true. And I'm being made to jump through hoops. And the difficulty of that is that those hoops are also set on the same field as my coworkers who aren't being given the expectation to jump through those hoops. And so I become almost an overachiever because I'm jumping through hoops when everyone else just has to run around the field. I don't know if that makes any sense. But then there was another situation a while back where, like I was saying about the howl at the table with Stevie's dad and all of his friends. I was with one of my coworkers, and we decided to prank call his best friend, who was another coworker at another shop. Now, I didn't really want to prank call him, but I was pushed and urged and like, go on, call him before he finishes. And it was a couple minutes before he finished. I was on the phone to this man for 43 seconds. 43 seconds. I need to reiterate that. I was on the phone to him for 3/4 of a minute. And it ruined his week. Like, the prank call was a silly voice. I play a character called Terry. Hello, do you have a jacket on hold for me? Like, that's it, right? And the jacket was a 3XL jacket. We only go up to 2XL. So you should have known from then it was a prank call, right? Anyway, he has recently complained that I've said something. Now, this was dealt with back in like early January, like I think before the 15th of January, so before mid-Jan. This was completely gone and settled away. At least I thought it was, right? Where I worked a shift with him in another store that I don't normally work. And I got this energy from him like he wanted to fight me, like he wanted to fucking knock my head off. And we talked about things. And I was like, bro, it was a prank call, man. Like, I'm sorry that has ruined your week, but... And he was upset at everything from the fact that he had a sore knee, to the fact that I had... that he doesn't joke like that, to the fact he said something about me ruining his livelihood because he lost customers. And I was like, bro, you lost no car. I was on the phone to you for less than a minute. Like, you can't blame me for that, right? Anyway, since then, I was speaking to his mate who was with me when we did the prank call. And he was telling me how this guy hadn't messaged him back, and for a couple of days he ignored him. And I wrote back, what a fucking pussy, right? Now, should I have done that? Probably not. But I was frustrated, and I was also reacting to a message that I was having sent to me, right? And then they spoke, and apparently he was only angry at me. Fair enough. I don't give a fuck. I'm not your friend, right? But he's now found out that I said that he was a pussy. But in the same message strand, in the same messages that we received, he also said that he was going to flog me if I kept talking shit. And I just don't understand how you can throw stones in glass houses like that. How can you turn around and say that you're upset at me for calling you a pussy, but you had expressed an interest in fighting me if I kept talking shit? What's the qualifier for talking shit? Right? I prank called you. You complained about it. We spoke about it. And I said to you, oh, I'm sorry, man. I thought you were cool. And I said that to his face. I was talking to him. I thought you were cool. I didn't realize you'd be so upset about it. I'm sorry. And then he said, I apologized a couple of times. He said, can I tell you something? I hate people who apologize too much. And I said, can I tell you something? I hate people who suck about shit that doesn't matter in a couple of days. And he's still holding on to it. It's weeks later. And I'm frustrated about it right now because I got pulled aside for it yesterday like it was a new thing or like it was a continued thing. Bro, I haven't spoken about this guy in 6 weeks. I feel sorry for him. I'm not angry at him. I feel sorry for him. Why are you holding on to that shit? But then that being coupled with, me trying to overachieve and I'm trying to be helpful. I'm trying to say yes. I was hired under the premise that I would be potentially considered for a big leadership role. I came across to this business for that alone. And it's being dangled in front of me like a carrot. And all these expectations are there. I've dealt with bullying since I got here. I've dealt with a toxic work environment. And it's now being thrown back in my face like I'm the one causing that. Bro, I walked into this shit. I haven't been here long enough to have created something like that. You know? I'm just exposing it for what it is, and I'm the bad guy for pointing it out. Come on, man. And so, I suppose if you're listening to this, thank you for listening. I like this experiment. I like this project because it's a little experiment, because there's going to be days where I talk and I'm sad. There's going to be days where I talk and I'm angry. There's going to be days like this is just a real time me trying to process and go through life as, a 27-year-old male in 2023. And so it's interesting to it'll be interesting to look back on, and I'm sure it's interesting for you to listen to. And if there's any advice or any commentary that you want to put in the comments, just do it. Let's engage. But thank you for listening, and I'm sorry that some of these are erratic. I just don't think that I'm prepared to compromise who I am